From Los Angeles, TraderInsight.com presents Dr. Adrian Manz in the war room and at the helm with today's look at stocks and sectors on the radar.
For TraderInsight.com, I'm Adrian Manz, and this is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Wednesday, April 1st, 2009. On Tuesday, Dow Jones Industrials up 87 points to close at 7608.92. We had 2,308 stocks advance, 741 decline, and NYSE total volume at 1.65 billion shares. Now, the Dow managed to pull off the little snapback rally that I talked about yesterday. I had sort of an interesting email from a guy who wanted to know, if your bias is to the downside, why are the stocks on the radar all to the long side? Well, we were sort of looking for this little rally move here right around the 50-period simple moving average. For the Dow to really break down further, I think it has to see 74.37 here, and then we've got a real possibility of about a 200-point move to the downside. But in the interim, I'm expecting the Dow to sort of meander around in this range here. Certainly what it's doing right now is a lot more constructive, I think, than this blast to the upside was last week. Those strong moves with no consolidation spell trouble usually for an index, and it was evidenced on Monday here that this is no exception, the current rally in the bear market, that we definitely had lots and lots of room for people to take profits off the table after they snapped up some quick gains. That's to be expected. In the meantime, my buy is still really for a retest on the downside, but let's have a quick look at the rest of the indices, and then we'll talk about what happened in the stocks that we had on the radar for the Tuesday session. On the S&P 500, up 10 points to close at 797.87. Couldn't hold 800. Knew that was going to be a problem. Everybody was expecting it. Let's see what happens to the index on Wednesday. See if it can gain a few points and stay up above that number, and then maybe get up into that 850 range, which is, of course, a critical test. NASDAQ 100 up 1620 to close at 1237.01. NASDAQ Comp up 2679 to close at 1528.59. These have very poor close in their range. That's surprising considering upgrades in the sector today. Tech was definitely the darling, and the indices could not hold on to the constructive price action that they had over the course of the session. Now, yesterday we talked about Advance Auto Parts, AutoZone, Valspar, and Home Depot. So here we have Advance Auto Parts. This one was a switch hitter long setup. It gapped open on us. It came back in again, never hit the trigger price, no trade. Then we had Home Depot. That was in the retailers. Home Depot was all right intraday, nothing great though. It never got up and touched that profit target that we had. Basically, if we got in where we were talking about yesterday and used some trailing stops, then by the end of the session, flat on the trade. Nothing exciting to talk about. Valspar, also a gap higher move off a switch hitter setup. This one came right back in again, never gave us an opportunity. AutoZone did everything exactly the way that we'd like for it to do it, except that, of course, it didn't have a high close that would have dragged us out with a huge profit on the session. We did have two nice profit opportunities, however. We see here intraday that the stock gets up there, tags that 163.75 price, got us right up to the 164.10, 164.15 profit target area that we were talking about, got us out of the trade, comes back down, right? It's going to trigger us in again. Then on a trailing stop methodology, we have another one that just pops us out and pops us right back in again. What are you going to do? That's the name of the game, right? Got to trade them the way they come. Then we get a nice move up. 163.75 comes in again. We get up above it, and the extension on this move is all the way up to the 163.50 area, which of course is the first resistance level. When we get to the first resistance level on this kind of thing, see it turn around. We've talked about this a lot of times in the past. Those floor trader pivots are good places to target and get out. Comes back down, never gets back down to our entry price again, so we don't benefit from the big move up to 165.20. That's the way it goes, right? Could have been a nice entry on a pivot extension up here. That was Julie's vote on this, definitely, but I'm not so big on trying to get them from pivot to pivot. And in any case, had I done that trade, I would have been looking for a move substantially higher, as the next pivot was up around 165.50. So I would have probably missed that profit anyways, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It would have been nice to get in there and get that extra extension. Nevertheless, had 3 trades in AutoZone that were available to us today. Two of them turned out to be really nice profits. One of them a very small loss. So all things considered, I'm going to say AutoZone was a very good candidate for the session. For Wednesday, here we've got FactSet Research. This is in software, ticker symbol FTS. This one, it was on my radar yesterday. Didn't put it on the stocks and sectors on the radar. Wasn't on the stocks to watch list, and it wasn't on the intraday trading plan. Why not? This was a really sloppy looking switch hitter, I thought. It was on the heels of that infield fly setup that didn't work out. We had the gap move lower. It looked like it was all over the place. Well, whatever my bias was, it didn't make it in, and look what it did today. Big move, right? Always happens that way. But for Wednesday's trading, 50.97 is going to be my potential trigger price on the long side in strength in the software makers. Gonna target those pivots on this one. Nothing huge on the horizon, I don't think, as far as nice smooth moves intraday go. Maybe a 35 to 50 cent move if we get lucky enough to catch a burst to the upside. The ones I'm really watching over the next couple days are the biotechs and pharmas. We've got Amlin. I think these are probably on everybody's radar. There's lots and lots of FDA action this week. Lots of drugs in the pipeline coming up for approval, particularly some diabetes stuff. Amlin, this one had a big move to the downside today. Very negative reaction to some speculation about some potential difficulties for all these guys over the next couple of days. If this one breaks below $11.55 on Wednesday, I'm going to be looking for a move down here into the support area at around $11.30. Maybe a little bit of a thrust down through there. I see some elasticity in the price action on this, even though there's a lot of opens and closes around it. So let's see what happens. That's ticker symbol AMLN. Another one I'm going to watch, Bristol Myers Squibb. This is also a pharma. This is ticker symbol BMY. A little bit more solid of a play on the upside. 22.18 was the high on the session for Tuesday. Gonna look at about a 22.28, 22.30, 35, somewhere in there entry on strength in the sector. I am looking for a move to the upside on this one that gets it up into the support and resistance that we see here, up around $22.70 a share. Not a real big move there either. Not a real big move on any of these. Market's still pretty volatile. That VIX is still pretty high. Getting lots of swings that don't really make a lot of sense, but still lots of room to take some money out intraday. Then we've got Novo. This is ticker symbol NVO. This is the final pharma play for the day here. This is going to be a short side entry, 47.51. It's going to be my trigger price on this, and we are going to be looking for a move down into this 20-period simple, which is also around a lot of highs, lows, closes, that kind of thing, all the way down at 46.86 on this one. So there's probably going to be a lot more news on the pharma stuff coming around Wednesday or so. That FDA approval process is nothing to bank on. You never get exactly what you think you're going to get out of it. Just look for the intraday opportunities in these. Look for the volatility. Look for predictable moves, pullbacks, trade around pivots, that kind of a thing. That's what we're going to be watching for. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email, adrian@traderinsight.com. Use protected stops on every trade, and have a great trading day on Wednesday.